So I'm going to get into the time thing and the clock real briefly. I woke up with the words "when the clock runs out." And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know every once in a while I'll remember some things. It feels like it comes in from my soul, like it's a little piece, and it's like, remember it when the clock runs out. And as I thought about that, I was thinking about that machine that spits out time that I saw. And Og Tellis talked about that. Now I've only watched maybe 2 of his videos total. And so I don't really know anything about him, but whatever he was talking about with that was kind of what I saw. And so when the clock runs out, and we've had all these references to we're almost at midnight and blah, blah, blah. So this clock is probably running for a very long time, and why they have to be patient. But they are waiting for this clock to run out, which would be essentially, I suppose, the reset. So I'm going to get into this a little bit more. When the clock runs out, so I think this is why time is wonky. Some people are I think this is why they've had to speed up time. Now, people are saying that time's not speeding up, it's us speeding up, our frequency speeding up. And I thought, okay, well, maybe we're speeding up through time. Are they speeding it up to catch up with us? I don't really feel like that's what it is. When I read on this, I just really didn't feel like that's what it is. I felt like they are speeding up time to move the timing up of this unfoldment of their plan, this when the clock runs out timing where it's boom, boom, boom. They're moving that up because they can't be patient anymore. They're getting too much resistance. I think they're getting worried. Some of them, not so much. They think they've got this in the bag, that their control is so complex and interwoven that they've got this in the bag, but people are more awake than they planned. They're more awake than the previous resets. So I think this reset where they bump us into, oh, you're going to 5D, they're just bumping you into another virtual. That's why I said I'm not going anywhere. We're more awake than previous resets. We've figured it out to a deeper level. They don't like it. Even the mainstream has gone further with it this time. So they are deleting our past, which I think is causing Mandela. That's to confuse things, but they're also speeding up time to rush their plan. So when the clock runs out. So let's look at this because there's different things that are going to go on here. Crash economy, the alien reveal, an invasion. So this is what I think happens, because I think the alien invasion is partially it's them revealing themselves and not necessarily who they are, like what position they hold in the world, although that might be part of it. It feels more of a reveal of what they are. And so this all happens maybe right before the clock runs out. Or the clock has a little ways to go, but because it's spanned out over such a long period of time, that there's a lot of stuff that can happen right before the total reset, which is, I think, when we're all uploaded or whatever, if we're not already. I'm not, but there's a lot of people that have been, their light bodies have been. So I don't think all of this is going to play out. This is just their plan. I think something's going to intervene. So that's what I think. And I've talked about that on I feel like we're going in a good direction. If worse comes to worse, I think we're getting out of here. But I do feel like it's going to go in a different direction. There's other forces fighting, which is another reason why they're speeding this up. because there's going to be something intervening or trying to pull things a different direction or something like that, and taking them down possibly. So let's see what happens. But anyway, what's going on here with these clocks and all of this? I meant to show you. I want to come back to that because it made me think of something else. So I don't have this image to show you either because, like I said, I uploaded all these and I can't find them now. And I erased them off my phone. But the number one movie, let me see if I can just pull up the image on my own. So while I'm trying to pull that up, let's just go into a little bit more about this reality to kind of help you understand why you feel frustrated when you can't talk to people or wake them up, or why we're so driven to uncover the truth. I mean, so I was taking this course on how to write a fictional story, and basically this person boiled stories down to creating organization out of chaos. A story will tell you that things happen for a reason. And when we see that in the story, oh, all these things and the clues, and it all led up to this, and it all happened for a reason. It gives people a dopamine hit. It stimulates chemicals in the brain, all the other good feeling chemicals. So what a story does is it pulls us out of the nonsense of the chaotic matrix where we don't get any. So that's why we're hooked on stories. And that's how they keep us here, they keep telling us stories, really good stories, in a movie, in a book, on TV. We're addicted to these stories because they give organization out of chaos that we can't get in real life. And that is why the truther stuff is so interesting, because it starts to make sense out of the chaos. So, okay, so actually I did find this. I'm actually very surprised I pulled it right up here. Let me share. Still there. So top box office US. So we have Sound of Freedom at 3, but we have Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And when I saw that, it was the same day I woke up with When the Clock Runs Out, and I was like, Dial of Destiny. So I looked this up. Dial of Destiny, what is it? And the Smithsonian website comes up, the real history behind the Archimedes dial in Indiana Jones. I have not seen the movie, but anyway, Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny. And I don't know how to pronounce this word, but a device called the Antikythera mechanism is the true life basis for the object at the center of the franchise's latest installment. Okay, so that's what I want to say. An ancient device used to chart the cosmos. So if we've got when the clock runs out and this time machine spitting out time, so they found this device off a Greek island, dated more than 2,000 years ago. The device is probably the most exciting artifact that we have from the ancient world. I'm just going to skip around here. More than a millennium before 13th century Europeans invented the first mechanical clocks, the Antikythera mechanism employed similarly to complex technology using gear wheels, dials, and pointers to chart the cosmos. The ancient used it to predict eclipses, track the movement of the sun and the moon, and even when sporting events like the Olympics were scheduled to take place. Contrary to what the movie suggests, the mechanism won't transport you back in time. You want to bet? Not literally, at least. Oh, of course not. I might have to go see this movie. All right. The hero chases after this. Captures a train loaded with Nazi plunder. So of course it's probably a time machine. It's cranking out time. At its time of its discovery, the actual historical device was encased in a corroded clump of metal. There's a picture of it down here. Broke apart to reveal an intricate network of gears. It dates roughly 200 to 60 BCE. I don't know. Observers originally speculated the mechanism might be a navigation device or perhaps a modern object dropped at the wreck site centuries after the ship sank. A more far-fetched interpretation suggested the device was alien technology used on alien spaceships. Isn't that interesting? They have a movie that's at the top of the box office right now while the clock is running out on this thing.